Good morning and welcome to Orca News. The headlines. President Klavinsky's first year in office. An overview look of his accomplishments. King Charles III to be coronated on Saturday. President Klavinsky to attend the ceremony. An act mandating the closure of car washes and public pools during a water shortage was proposed in Congress. And a housing project on Jelbin Street has been partially completed. A look at President Klavinsky's 1 year in office. Paul Wanders reports.
President Klavinsky has completed his 1 year in office, making significant strides in promoting COVID-19 vaccination, enhancing and developing the Pi-Cot City mega infrastructure project, and rapid improvements to the economy after the pandemic. Since taking office last March 1, 2022, President Klavinsky has made the fight against COVID-19 a success. He has led a nationwide campaign to promote vaccination and encourage people to follow health protocols, as well as minimizing infections nationwide. In Landova, vaccination rates have increased dramatically and cases have dropped quickly to zero. In addition to fighting the pandemic, President Klavinsky has focused on improving the country's infrastructure, particularly through the Pi-Cot City mega infrastructure project. This ambitious initiative aims to modernize and expand transportation, communication, and housing across the city, potentially creating jobs and boosting economic growth. Since its launch, the project has already made significant progress. Roads have been repaired and expanded, new buildings have been built, and communication networks have been upgraded. President Klavinsky looks forward to the extended and continuing efforts to prevail in this project. Finally, President Klavinsky's economic policies have yielded positive results in a short amount of time. The economy has shown rapid improvements, with job creation, increased foreign investment, and growth in key sectors like food production and tourism. In a statement released by the Executive Secretary, President Klavinsky said, "I am proud of what we have accomplished in our first 100 days, but we know there is much more work to be done. We will continue to prioritize the health and well-being of our citizens, invest in our infrastructure, and drive economic growth and job creation for a prosperous nation." This is Paul Wanders, reporting for Orca News.
President Klavinsky visited Ireland ahead of his official trips to the two countries of Ireland and the United Kingdom. We have Eamon Rhodes in Dublin. Eamon.
Yes, Carson. President Klavinsky visited Ireland for his official trip to the country. He said his visit focusing further efforts to strengthen diplomatic ties with Ireland and the United Kingdom. The president exchanged talks with Irish President Michael Higgins and Prime Minister Leo Varadkar at Ross and Watarrain and Leinster House respectively yesterday here in Dublin. The president with the Irish top officials discussed economic and trade issues as well as cultural exchange in both countries. President Klavinsky will then head towards London, United Kingdom tomorrow for bilateral talks with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak focusing on growth in the economy and multitudes of business opportunities expected to uprise in Landova. Afterward, the president will also be attending the coronation of King Charles III with his wife the Queen Consort Camilla in Westminster Abbey on Saturday, May 6. This historic event will be watched by millions around the world, as the new king ascends the throne following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, in 2022. President Klavinsky's attendance at the coronation underscores the strong ties between the two nations as well as the importance of the event to the international community. He expressed gratitude that he is honored to be invited to witness the historic event and to celebrate the enduring relationship between the nations. This is Eamon Rhodes. Back to you, Carson.
Thank you, Eamon Rhodes. There in Dublin, Ireland. Here's our weather for today. completion of one side of the housing project in Jelbin Street has been announced by the Infrastructure Department as part of the Picot City Mega Infrastructure Project. More to report from George Duncan. George?
Yes, Carson. The housing project here at Jelbin Street in Lingus District has been partially completed on one side of the street last March. More than 20 houses have been constructed, providing homes for around 50 families in the area. The housing project along Jelbin Street is just one of many infrastructure initiatives under the Picot City Mega Infrastructure Project. The project thoroughly aims to connect residential buildings and semi-commercial buildings within the area of the Lingus and Rotherham districts. This is expected to improve the area's economic growth and provide opportunities for business owners. The partial completion of the project is a testament to the local government's commitment to providing safe and affordable housing for all citizens where it can hoist to create job opportunities for local workers, boosting the local economy. The housing project, therefore, is a significant milestone in the government's efforts to address the housing shortage in the country while stabilizing the needs of every Landovians no matter where they are. This is George Duncan. Back to you, Carson.
Thank you, George. Congress has proposed an act that mandates the termination of car wash businesses and the closure of public pools during water shortages nationwide. The act aims to ration and limit water usage in the country. The act was proposed last Friday, April 28th, by one representative from the Red Conservative Party. It has yet to undergo further session readings in the House of Representatives and Senate. If passed into law, car wash businesses and public pools will be required to cease operations during the water shortage. The act aims to ensure that water is conserved and used for essential purposes, such as drinking, sanitation, and agriculture. The proposal has received mixed reactions from the public. Some have voiced support for the act, saying that is necessary to address the potential water shortage problem in the country. Others have expressed concern over the impact on businesses and the potential loss of jobs. The act is just one of the many measures being considered by the government to anticipatedly address the potential water shortage problem in the country. The proposed act comes as the country heavily relies on water treatment plants that retrieve water from rivers and estuaries. The government is anticipating potential water shortages in the future and has proposed this act as a proactive measure to address the issue. The government is also exploring alternative sources of water and investing in water conservation and building a potential dam and reservoir on the outskirts of the country. President Klavinsky last April 22nd urges Landovians to combat climate change by simple means. Amanda Moore reports.
President Klavinsky urges Landovians to combat climate change in simple means last Earth Day. In a speech delivered on April 22, 2023, President Klavinsky emphasized the importance of individual action in addressing the global issue of climate change. The president encouraged Landovians to take simple yet effective steps to reduce their carbon footprint, such as using energy-efficient appliances, reducing plastic use, and opting for sustainable transportation. He also stressed the importance of recycling and waste management and protecting the environment. The president's speech was delivered on Earth Day, a day dedicated to raising awareness and taking action on environmental issues. The theme for Earth Day 2023 was Invest in Our Planet, which highlights the calling for businesses to shift towards sustainable practices. The president's call to action was well received by the public, with many expressing their support for the government's efforts to combat climate change and produce effective linkages in regard to a sustainable world. Landovians expressed their commitment to taking individual action to protect the environment and support the government's initiatives. This is Amanda Moore, reporting for Orca News.
And that's it for today's news. This is Carson Elgers, reporting for Orca News. Good morning, everyone.